What if you are not overwhelmed because you have too much to do? What if you're overwhelmed because you've been carrying too much? Hi everyone, Antoinette Schminker here, and today we are going to talk about why do I feel overwhelmed. So, overwhelmed isn't a time problem, it is a carrying problem. Have you ever reached the end of the day and you thought, why do I feel so overwhelmed? You know, nothing terrible actually happened or nothing dramatic. You haven't unnecessarily worked longer hours than usual, and yet everything just feels heavy. You sit down for a few minutes and instead of relaxing, your mind starts making a list, right? The emails, and it's the children, and it's the washing, and it's the bills, and the conversation that you need to have, or that decision that you've been avoiding. Or it's that thing that you forgot. So before we know it, we are exhausted without doing another thing. So most people think that they know why this happens, and they will say, you're just too busy, or you need to manage your time better, or get more organized, or learn to switch off. But what if that is not actually the problem? So what if overwhelmed isn't a time problem? What if it's a carrying problem? So let's see if this sounds familiar. Your body is tired, your mind refuses to stop, and you finally have a quiet moment, but instead of resting, you start thinking. You replay conversations, you worry about tomorrow, you remember everything that you still need to do, and sometimes it feels like you are carrying everyone. It's your family's needs, it is your team's expectation, it's your children's emotions, it's your partner's stress, your own disappointment. And somewhere in all of that, you've forgotten what it feels like to feel light. Here is what is interesting. It's usually not one big event that overwhelms us. It is all these hundreds of little things that we've never put down. And we've been taught something for years. So when life feels overwhelming, we are told to become better managers, right? Manage your time, manage your priorities, manage your calendar, manage your stress, manage yourself. Buy another diary or download another app or wake up an hour earlier, right? Or push a little harder. And if that doesn't work, well, you probably just need more discipline, right? The strange thing is people have never had more productivity tools, and yet we've never been more overwhelmed. So maybe we've been trying to solve the wrong problem. So let's pause for a minute. What if you are not overwhelmed because you have too much to do? What if you're overwhelmed because you've been carrying too much? That changes everything, because carrying isn't just about tasks. It is about responsibility. It is about expectations. It is about guilt. It is about disappointment. And it is about trying to keep everybody happy. It is about pretending that you are okay, and it's about carrying conversations that ended weeks ago and worries about things that haven't even happened yet. And little by little, they accumulate. One burden doesn't seem like much, neither does the next one or the next one, until one day your nervous system quietly whispers that this is just too much. And that is the feeling that we call overwhelm. Now, here's something fascinating about your brain. Your brain doesn't wake up every morning asking, well, how can I help you reach your full potential? Its first job and its only job is to keep you alive. And that is how God designed it. And when you've been under stress for a long time, your brain shifts into protection mode. So it starts scanning for danger. It becomes more alert, and it keeps reminding you about unfinished things. And it rehearses that worst case scenarios, right? Not because it's trying to make your life miserable, because it's trying to protect you. The problem is when you've carried too much for too long, your brain starts believing that this is actually normal. And when carrying becomes normal, well, rest starts feeling uncomfortable. Because have you ever noticed that you finally sit down and then suddenly your brain speeds up again? That is not laziness. That is not weakness. That is protection. Unfortunately, this is where most of us believe the lie. We tell ourselves that I'm not coping, or I'm weak, or everyone else seems to manage life better than I do. and something must be wrong with me. But overwhelm doesn't prove that you're weak. It simply tells you that you've been carrying more than you were designed to carry. And there's a big difference. Because the one produces shame and the other one produces understanding. So here's a different question. Instead of asking, how do I cope better? What if you start asking, what am I carrying? Or even better, is this mine to carry? Is this responsibility actually mine? Or is this expectation mine? Or is this guilt mine? Or is this fear mine? Is this somebody else's choice that I've accidentally picked up? Because those questions create clarity, and clarity changes what you carry. So today, I'd love to leave you with a few questions. What have you been carrying that nobody else even knows about? Number 2, what expectation is weighing you down? Number 3, whose emotions have you been trying to manage? Number 4, what disappointments have you never really put down? And perhaps the most important question of all is, what isn't yours to carry anymore? Because maybe today isn't about becoming stronger. Maybe today is about becoming lighter. So thank you for watching this video. If this helped you and you can see yourself a little bit more clearly, I'd love to hear from you. Please put it in the comments, leave a comment below and tell me, what have you realized you've been carrying? Because your story might be exactly what somebody else needs to hear. And if you'd like to keep exploring why we think, feel and behave the way that we do, subscribe and join me for the next pause for clarity. Because clarity doesn't come from carrying more. It comes from finally understanding what was never yours to carry.